Hello, everyone. Welcome to Liberal Tarot. I'm Sherry, and I am a blue dot living in a red state, just utilizing tarot, trying to make sense of the current events happening in the United States right now. So I always say, you watch the news and then come back here. I will more than likely be doing a reading on especially some of those bigger stories. And what I do is I look at the energy around that and just like what's going on with this. Where is this headed? What can we expect? And personally, I find it very grounding and very calming, which is why I decided to start this channel so that I could then offer these readings to everyone. So thank you for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. For today's reading, I want to look at this recent statement by Maga Mike, Speaker Mike Johnson. I'm reading from MSNBC. I am reading from NBC News. Speaker Mike Johnson floats eliminating federal courts as GOP ramps up attacks on judges. Okay. They don't like how the judges are, upholding the law and ruling against Trump and not letting him just have his way with with the world. And so now, if you don't like how the courts are ruling, you just eliminate the judges, apparently. So he has even, whether they're going to eliminate one or, more than one of the federal districts, cut their funding, whatever it is that, he's doing there to try to appease Trump, So anyway, what I want to do is look at that. Like, what is going to be the ramifications of that? Now, before I look into that, I do want to say that it's interesting because I look back at other readings and like these it's like little breadcrumbs. Pieces are coming together. I got that, it's weird that Chief Justice Roberts made that statement of just because a judge rules against you, that impeachment is not what we do. Okay, that's not what we do. And they know that impeachment will fail in the Senate, so they can't do that. And then the other thing that I got is that the courts kind of wanting to, preserve who they are, preserve their relevance in this, co-equal branch. Which I thought that was interesting. Yes, they want to uphold the law, but part of that upholding the law is also their relevance in making decisions, making those legal decisions, upholding the law for our country, our Constitution. So that was an interesting thing. Now, what kind of was reported a little bit after that was one reason Chief Justice Roberts made that statement was because the federal judges were kind of like, okay, so like, what do we do? Like, how do we enforce these orders? And so that's kind of where I want to go with this. I just kind of want to look at the courts are under attack. Chief Justice Roberts apparently, obviously is aware of that. And now you've got Maga Mike out there saying, oh yeah, we don't need federal judges. We'll just do away with them. What's next? We don't need the Supreme Court, And so, honestly, Thomas and Alito would probably vote for that just to give Trump what he wants. So what I want to look at specifically is I want to start with Maga Mike's statement and just kind of where that goes from there. Might want to look at the Supreme Court, like kind of how are they feeling about seeing, that happen. And yeah, we'll just kind of go from there and see what comes up. So the focus of today's reading is that statement that Maga Mike made. As always, this is for entertainment purposes only. So, Speaker Mike Johnson, what is going on? I could say, what's going on with that bronzer, but I will not. That would be rude. I would never say that. Anyway, okay, so back to this. What is just the energy around that statement? What is the energy around that statement he made? Okay, and that the Fool card comes up, and these cards, they all have meanings, and sometimes it's face value and sometimes it's like whatever the symbology is. When I ask about Maga Mike and the Fool card is the first card that comes up, that's pretty self-explanatory. Like he's just out there, whoring himself out for Trump, saying whatever he needs to say. So that's what he's just being. I I don't think this is going anywhere. He's being a fool. This is like a fool's errand. Okay. So it's almost like, okay, well, with that, reading done. No, I'll keep going. He's a fool. He doesn't know what he's saying. This is also behind the scenes. Things that are changing behind the scenes. So if he said that, if we see this statement, then what is it that's going on behind the scenes? And with the Fool card and the Moon card, like, they want to go a new direction. And so they're going to do this any way they can, whether it's with the courts or without the courts. Heavy burden. Maga Mike must have Trump breathing down his neck saying, why aren't you doing this? Where's my Roy Cohn, type moment of, why are you not providing better cover for me? And the base Magician. I don't care what you have to do. You have everything at your disposal to be able to do what I want you to do. That's really the strong feeling I'm getting here with this. Betrayal to our country, betrayal to the Constitution. And this could also be Trump's feeling betrayed. He's feeling betrayed because the courts just don't love him. The law just won't let him do what he wants. So this is that feeling of betrayal. And the Sun card. I want to put more cards on this because all these cards have, they have the upright meanings, and then they also have reversal meanings. I don't read reversals. I just kind of take the cues from the other cards around it as to, where those more negative or reversed symbology, definitions need to come in. So this is like, they're either doing it all in the open, which that's what it appears to be, or you can't, like, they're showing us what they want us to see, not necessarily the entire picture. And the reason I'm a little bit hesitant about saying, oh yeah, they're doing this all out in broad daylight, is because here in the middle, I got the Moon card. And so it's like things that are hidden, and they're not telling the truth. They're trying to do everything they can. It's a betrayal. And then what we're seeing, let me do some clarification cards on that. Let me do just 3 cards on this Sun card. What exactly is this? And it could be that they're just doing this, like, what we see is horrendous enough. So what is this Sun card? What do we need to know about that? And with the Sun card, they want to be the one to decide. They want to be the ones who decide who is willing, who is worthy. And they're not happy with what the courts are telling them. Okay, they want to do what they want to do, and the courts are telling them no, and battle weary, looking at their options. So yeah, I think that they're this is going to be this feeling of shining a light into how is it that we can manipulate the law to do what it is we want to do. And so Maga Mike there is like, well, we'll just eliminate the courts. That's what we'll do. And it's a fool's errand at this point. I don't know that this is like, let's just see. Are they going to be successful? Are they actually going to eliminate the federal courts? Are they going to eliminate, and any of them, whether it's one, whether it's more than one, what are they going to actually be able to defund, eliminate the federal courts? So Congress holds the money, and they get to decide where it's appropriated. And this is a partnership. This is 2 people coming together. So I wonder if this is, sane Republicans, I think there are a few in there, coming together with the Democrats saying, we're not doing this. This is not how this country is run. Or is this going to be, the Maga Mike and his ilk doing Trump's bidding? Okay, it could be, and honestly, this doesn't have to be an either or. This could be both. It could be, it's interesting because so many of these readings, it's like you have, this is what they're doing, and then this is how it's going to be stopped. And it's this, like, 2 sides of the same coin, or not 2 sides of the same coin. You have like this is what they're doing, but yet it can also mean that maybe people are coming together to stop them. So let's see what else comes up here. Ace of Wands, the Bully Club. They're actually going to try this. These I think they're actually going to try this. The Queen of Cups. I don't see the Democrats. I would like to say that the Democrats don't stand for this, but if they get this passed through because Chuck Schumer caved on that CR bill, whew. So because the queens can be, they're the carers, the nurturers are queens. Cups is going to be the emotions. This is going to be also, it could be a party. Like the Democrats, they're in a position of power, but they're not in, they don't have control of the House or the Senate. Okay, but they have tools to their disposal that they really could grind things to a halt. So that's interesting to see that come up here. I wonder, I mean, they're going to try I think the Republicans are actually going to try this. The Lover's card. That is, if you look here, you get the Two of Cups and the Lover's card. These are very similar cards. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Let me hold them up here real quick. Very similar cards. Okay. This is more of one of, like a partnership. This is it's a partnership, but it's also one of passion. It could also be, like more of balance, equals coming together. I really kind of wonder if the MAGA people aren't going to try this, but it's not going to go anywhere because you've got sane Republicans saying no. This could be the House Democrats and then the Senate Democrats saying no to this. And wanting to preserve, who they are. This is, hold on to what you have. Whatever power you have, hold on to it. This could also be the MAGA saying we control the money. That's really interesting because I'm really feeling like it's almost like two different readings in one here. You get that absolutely they're going to try doing this, but you have people coming together in the spirit of, friendship and doing what's right. And who's controlling the money? So I'm just going to do, are they going to be able to successfully shut down any of the federal courts? I just want like a 3-card clarification here. Are they actually going to be able to do that? Another ace. I think they're going to try, and it's this 7 of Swords, or 7 of Wands, is saying like there's a lot of obstacles in their way that they are going to have to overcome in order to do this. So it's feeling more like these aces are feeling more like it's a show for Trump. Yeah, we're going to say we're going to do this, but it's going to be those evil, Democrats that are going to stop us from doing, the Lord's work, or however they want to, spin that. So this is like there's a lot of obstacles in their way. And I think that they know that they can't. It would be extremely difficult, but the show of it is more of what I'm getting here, and the show of it. Because I'm sure that this would go to the Supreme Court, and I don't see the Supreme Court, minus Alito and Thomas, actually upholding that. One thing that I have, let me pull this up here real quick here. One thing that I've been interested in, especially knowing that now Maga Mike has come out and said, yeah, we're going to just eliminate federal judges. I wonder, because that is looking like it's really more for a big show for Trump. Pay attention to me, daddy. That's the feeling I'm getting from that. And they very well may try to, push through whatever bills or whatever. And I don't really see that happening. I mean, I see the big show, I see them trying, but I don't see them being successful. So I wonder if, I'm just going to ask, are they going to send Doge in? Are they going to send the little Doge boys in to try to do what they can't do? Okay, so whenever they can't do this, are they going to send Doge in? Now would be a really good time for you to hit like and subscribe while I'm shuffling for this next set. I appreciate that. Okay, so are they going to send Doge in after they can't get what they want done? They're thinking about it. Whenever I ask about Doge, these ones I see as coders, and so they're looking at what they can do. Doge is getting pretty beat up in the courts right now, though, so that would be, and going back and forth. What options do we have? Maybe looking at several different options. What is it that we can do? You know, they're not going to just do one thing. It's like this is telling me they've got a couple of things that they're looking at, and going back and forth, with the money. The world card, they, this is like we've arrived, we've accomplished. This is our destiny. Is kind of like the feeling that I'm getting with this. So, are they going to send Doge in? I'm just looking here to see what all comes out. I want to do more cards on this. Okay, so are they going to send Doge in? I think that they may actually try. And the reason I'm saying that is because I see this is the coding. Now, there has been a little bit of a pause, and this is, the courts have not been ruling in Doge's favor. Okay, so that almost gives them even more reason to want to do this, and that they're looking at their options. They're looking at ways to do this, and it's to cripple those the courts financially, and that's what this is. Trying to, it's about the finances. Trying to and this is the magician putting it all out on the table, seeing what you have at your disposal for what it is that you want to accomplish. So they're wanting to accomplish shutting down the courts. So this may be there may be more than just Maga Mike and Doge. There may be, the messaging that comes out is, this cups is going to be trying to turn the public against the courts. And the swords, they don't like how they've been ruling against them. So, yeah, it's like putting it all out there, using the law, trying to find that legal way. If we can't do it legally, we're going to do it with Doge. We're going to do, they're just putting it all out on the table. They're going to try everything. So, yeah, I'm not seeing that it's just one thing. It's multiple things to get what they want and to take this country in a new direction. And this new direction, are they going to be successful? They're working on it, and there's so many things that they're working on. I feel like when I'm doing this, I just keep getting this feeling like, okay, like you're asking the wrong questions. That's the feeling I'm getting. Because this is kind of like there's a bigger picture here that you're not seeing. That's kind of a weird feeling I'm getting with this. It's like, yeah, I know. It's this feeling of, we know that you're asking these questions, but you actually need to ask something else. And this is like, because they're doing so much more. This is just one tiny piece of this larger picture that we've been looking at. And Page of Cups, this is usually my yes card. This is usually like getting what you want, achieving, and that's just the way I've always read this card. The other ways to read this is pages are like the younger people, inexperienced. It's this feeling of like a toddler. Give me what I want what I want, and I want it now. And they're trying every which way they can. They're working on this. They're trying all the angles to try to get what it is that they want, and they feel justified in this. Like they're going to do what they want with or without the courts. So, will this end up at the Supreme Court? What will the Supreme Court say about all this? Or will the Supreme Court weigh in on this? Because Chief Justice Roberts has already started to weigh in. So what is there going to be any more from the Supreme Court on this? This is a card. I've kind of been reading this as our country, like, our country and prosperity, the Constitution. It's like the spirit of who we are as a nation. And the Justice Department, or not the Justice Department. This is going to be the Supreme Court. Okay, the Supreme Court is going to weigh in. And the message, they're not happy. This is the burden card that the DOJ is placing on them. I typically see Pam Bondi as this Queen of Wands. She is like the PR person for the Department of Justice. She's out there doing all of those press, tours and, news interviews and stuff. So that's the feeling I'm getting here is those press conferences, that she's going to keep doing that going forward in a more balanced way and feeling left out in the cold. This may be the Supreme Court rules and the Trump administration is left wanting, because the Supreme Court is not going to, as I said, when I say the Supreme Court rules against Trump, just know that I am not talking about Alito and Thomas ever. Like, they will never be in that consideration. It's the rest of the court, the majority, is coming up saying, this is how we're going to, no. We are not going to do this. We are going to be moving forward in the way that the Constitution intended for us to move through. But this isn't without, the DOJ, trying to put a stop to the courts and what they're doing. But I really do think that they're going to be left out. The Trump administration is going to be, they're going to be the ones left out in the cold. That's what I'm seeing with that. So yeah, with that, let me pull this up here. With that statement from Maga Mike, it's a show for Trump. That's really that. If I'm going to summarize that reading, that is a show for Trump. Now, that doesn't mean that they're not going to try. That doesn't mean it's almost like, we're going to try this. It's a show, and hey, we may succeed. And if we succeed, great. But I don't see them succeeding in that. I see that when they don't succeed, Doge may be turned loose into the federal courts. That's absolutely a possibility. And then I do see the Supreme Court stepping in and saying, this is not what we're doing. And then you've got, Trump, this Five of Pentacles. Trump is left wanting. So that's kind of where I'm seeing with that today. Now, I will say that I have an idea for another reading. And, whenever I said, like the Magician, they're going to try so many different things. There's so many different things happening. And honestly, the pattern that I'm seeing with all of these readings it's all like coming together. There's going to be this convergence. And that's an upcoming reading that I want to do. Probably have that come out next week. So stay tuned for that reading. But it just seems like all of these things, like each of these readings is just like one tiny little piece of this puzzle. And when I take a step back and look at the whole thing, it's, you've got the people protesting. You've got the courts telling him no. You have, Republicans won't even have in-person town halls. They have to have curated, safe spaces for their, virtual town halls, because they won't face their constituents. So yeah, there's just so much going on right now, and it's when you step back and look at the bigger picture, and that's that purpose of that next reading that I'm going to do, as I said, probably next week, because I'm starting to see more of that kind of stuff. As I said, the picture is starting to fill in, and I want to do a reading on that. So with that being said, I really appreciate you being here. Please subscribe, check out some of my other videos, and I will catch you on the next reading. Have a great day.